Hi everyone. So we have been discussing about the canonical forms. Canonical forms means the state space model matrices A, B, C, and D will have the least number of non-zero elements. So in the last class, we had discussed about the controllable canonical form and the observable canonical form. So today we are going to discuss about what is diagonal canonical form and Jordan canonical form. We will get to the details. Diagonal canonical form. Okay, so in diagonal canonical form, we obtain this diagonal canonical form with the help of partial fraction of transfer functions, right? We know transfer function is nothing but ratio of Laplace transform of output to Laplace transform of input when all the initial conditions are zero. So now we will expand that as a partial fraction form. And diagonal canonical form results from the partial fraction form of expansion of a transfer function. Let us see the details. This canonical form of the state model is obtained using partial fraction expansion of the given transfer function provided the poles are distinct. Okay, so if your transfer function has distinct poles, then we can obtain diagonal canonical form. If your transfer function has repeated poles, then we get what is called a Jordan canonical form. Okay, again, as before, let us start with a third order transfer function. Suppose the transfer function is y of s by u of s is equal to b2s square plus b1s plus b naught whole divided by s cube plus a2s square plus a1s plus a. Okay, so it's a third order transfer function. So how many poles will be there? 3 poles. Okay, so assume that I can expand it like this. Say some constant k1 divided by s plus lambda 1 plus k2 divided by s plus lambda 2 plus k3 upon s plus lambda 2. Okay, so what will be y of s from this? Everything into u of s. Okay, therefore y of s is equal to k1 by s plus lambda 1 into u of s plus k2 by s plus lambda 2 into u of s plus k3 by s plus lambda 3 into u of s. Okay, now what I will do is that I will call this u of s by s plus lambda 1 as x1 of s, u of s by s plus lambda 2 as x2 of s, and u of s by s plus 3 as s plus lambda 3 as x3 of s. That means I can write like this: k1 into x1 of s plus k2 into x2 of s plus k3 into x3 of s. Okay, where what is my x1 of s? X1 of s is nothing but u of s divided by s plus lambda 1. X2 of s is u of s divided by s plus lambda 2, and x3 of s is u of s divided by s plus lambda 3. Okay, so in time domain, if you cross multiply this thing, what will you get? You will get x1 dot in time domain x1 dot t plus lambda 1 x1 of t equal to u of t, or your x1 dot t will be what? Minus lambda 1 x1 t plus u of t. Okay, similarly from this expression you will get x2 dot t equals minus lambda 2 x2 of t plus u of t. And from here you will get x3 dot t equals minus lambda 3 x3 of t plus u of t. Okay, so you can see that the state equations, they are independent of other state variables, right? When you write state equation for x1 dot, it is a function of x1 only. When you write state equation for x2 dot, it's a function of x2 alone. And similarly for x3 dot equation, it is a function of x3 alone. Okay, so they are decoupled, you can say. Okay, they are decoupled from other states, right? So what will be our state space equation now? I can write like this: x1 dot, x2 dot, x3 dot. What is that? Some matrix A into x1, x2, x3. x1, x2, x3 plus some matrix into U. Okay. Now what is x1 dot? Minus lambda 1 x1 plus U. So this is minus lambda 1 x1 plus U. That means all other entries in this is 0. Similarly, x2 dot is minus lambda 2 x2. So minus lambda 2 x2 plus U of t. And x3 is minus lambda 3 x3 plus 1 into U of t. Okay. So in this equation, what will be our y of t from here? Y of t will become what? Will become k1 x1 of t plus k2 x2 of t plus k3 x3 of t. So how can I write my output equation? K1, K2, K3 into what? X1 of t, x2 of t, x3 of t. Okay, so this is my matrix A, this is my matrix B, this is matrix C. Okay, so in this way we can obtain the diagonal canonical form. Fine. Now you see the system, this is the A matrix, right? So all the diagonal elements are given by the eigenvalues, right? And all off-diagonal elements are 0. Okay, diagonal elements are given by the eigenvalues, right? And all off-diagonal elements are 0 in diagonal canonical form. Similarly, the B matrix comprises only of ones. Okay, all the elements in the B matrix are ones. And the residues, this K1, K2, K3, they are called residues actually. Okay, they will constitute the elements of C matrix. Okay, it's evident. So as a point, let me note it down here. System matrix A is diagonal. System matrix A is diagonal with eigenvalues as diagonal elements. And all off-diagonal elements will be 0. And all off-diagonal elements being 0. Okay, then the elements of C matrix are elements of B matrix. Okay, elements of B matrix are one. Okay, all elements in the B matrix are ones. Then elements of C matrix are residues of the transfer functions. They are residues of the transfer function. At its poles. Okay, so that's about diagonal canonical form. So in general, we can say that each state equation is a first order differential equation. Each state equation is a first order differential equation. Is a first order differential equation in only one variable. Okay, you can see here x1 dot was minus lambda 1 x1 plus U of t. x2 dot was minus lambda 2 x2 plus U of t. And x3 dot was minus lambda 3 x3 plus U of t. Okay, so each state equation is a first order differential equation in only one variable. and hence can be solved independently. And hence can be solved independently. Hence these equations and the state model are said to be decoupled. Okay, they are called decoupled. Okay, now let me write the equation here. X1 dot t was what? Minus lambda 1 x1 plus u. X2 dot was minus lambda 2 x2 plus u2 plus u of t. And x3 dot was minus lambda 3 x3 plus u of t. Okay, so let us draw the state diagram for this thing, right? So we will start with this first x1 thing. Okay, so this is the summing point. Okay, so this must be x1 dot. So x1 dot should be integrated to get x1. Okay, what is x1 dot? It is minus x lambda 1 x1. So this is minus sign. This is lambda 1. Okay, plus what? Plus u. Okay, so there should be a u here. I will mark this as u. Okay, so this is minus x1 dot is what? U of t. So this signal is u of t. It is at positive sign. This signal is lambda 1 x1. So x1 dot is lambda minus lambda 1 x1 plus u of t. Now what is x2 dot? Minus lambda 2 blah blah blah. Okay, so again here is our x2 dot. Here we have an integrator. Okay, this is x2. This is lambda 2, and here is the negative sign. Okay, this is our u plus, right? So lambda x2 dot is minus lambda 2 x2 plus u of t. So minus lambda 2 x2 plus u of t. Then what is x3 x3 dot? X3 dot is nothing but minus lambda 3 x3. So this is x3 dot. So when you integrate, you get x3. Fine. So there should be minus lambda 3 with the signal from x. Okay. Now, what's the output? Output y is k1 x1 plus k2 x2 plus k3 x3. So there should be another summing point here. This should be y of t. Okay. So from x1, it is coming at a gain of k1. So here is k1, and here is k1 x1t coming at positive polarity. Okay. Then here there should be the residue k2. Signal at this point is k2 x2t, and here it should be k3 plus k3 x3. Okay, so in this way you can realize the state diagram for the diagonal canonical form. Okay, now let us look into the next thing, or one example we'll try. Okay, suppose you are given, say, y of s by r of s, or u of s equal to 2s plus 5, the same example, divided by s square plus 7s plus 10. Okay, you need to obtain the diagonal canonical form. So straight away I can write x dot will be what? Will be minus 2, 0, 0, minus 5 into x plus 1, 1 r. Okay, and what will be y of t? Y of t will be 1 by 3, 5 by 3 into x of t. You can solve it for yourself and get convinced. Okay. So this was the case when our transformation had distinct poles. Okay. What if the transformation has repeated poles? Then we will come across what is called Jordan canonical form. So the next canonical form is Jordan canonical form. Okay, Jordan canonical form procedure is same. Okay, but we get Jordan canonical form when the transformation has repeated poles. That's the only difference. Okay, is also obtained. Jordan canonical form is also obtained by partial fraction expansion, by partial fraction expansion of a transfer function whose poles are repeated. Okay, so in one sense, you can say that diagonal canonical form is a special case of Jordan canonical form. Okay, hence diagonal canonical form is a special case of Jordan canonical form. Okay, so let us take one example. Again, we will start with the third order transfer function. So consider transfer function. Y of s by, say, R of s is equal to, say, b2s square plus b1s plus b0 whole divided by s cube plus a2s square plus a1s plus a0. Okay. So how many eigenvalues do we have here? 3 eigenvalues, right? Out of which we assume that 2 are repeated. Okay, we assume that two eigenvalues, that there are total 3 eigenvalues. Okay, and we assume that out of the 3 eigenvalues, the first 2 are repeated. That means minus lambda 1, and minus lambda 2. So the eigenvalue minus lambda 1 is repeated twice. Okay, so let me write like this: b2s square plus b1s plus b0 whole divided by s plus lambda 1 whole square into s plus lambda 2. Now, how will you apply partial fraction? A by s plus lambda 1 whole square plus b by s plus lambda 1 plus c divided by s plus lambda 2. So what will be the output? This into the input r of s. So y of s will be a by s plus lambda 1 whole square into r of s plus b by s plus lambda 1 into r of s plus c by s plus lambda 2 into r of s. Okay, so like we did before, we define this as a into x1 of s plus b into x2 of s plus c into x3 of s. Okay, a into x1 of s plus b into x2 of s plus c into x3 of s. Where, so what will be my x1 of s from this? X1 of s will be r of s by s plus lambda 1 whole square. Okay, what is x2 of s? R of s by s plus lambda 1. And what is x3 of s? R of s divided by s plus lambda 2. Okay, so from here, what will you get? You will get x2 dot equals to what? Minus lambda 1 x2 plus r of t. From here, what will you get? x3 dot equal to what? Minus lambda 2 x3 plus r of t. Okay, so you see this r of s by s plus lambda 1 is x2 of s. So what will be this? What will be this x1 of s? I can write like this: x1 of s is equal to x2 of s divided by s plus lambda 1. Is it not? Because x2 of s is r of s by s plus lambda 1, right? So this is r of s by s plus lambda 1 whole square. That means instead of r of s by s plus lambda 1 whole square, I can write x1 of s divided by x2 of s divided by s plus lambda 1. Okay, so from here, what will I get? X1 dot equal to what? Minus lambda 1 x1 t plus x2 of t. right? So let us formulate this thing. Okay. So again, now x1 dot t, x2 dot t, x3 dot t. Okay, must be equal to some matrix into x1, x2, x3 plus b into r. Okay, what is x1 dot? X1 dot is minus lambda 1 plus x2, 0. Okay, there is no input term, 0. X2 dot is minus lambda 1 x2, 0, minus lambda 1, 0, 1. What is x3? Minus lambda 3. So minus lambda 2, minus lambda 2, 1. Okay, so you got minus lambda 1, 1, 0, 0 minus lambda 1, 0, 0, 0 minus lambda 2, and this became 0, 1, 1. Now what is the output equation from here? Y of t will be what? Y of t will be a x1 t plus b x2 t plus c x3 t. Okay, so what is the output equation y of t? They are residues a, b, c into what? Into x1 t, x2 t, x3 t. Okay, so again, what happened here? So here you can see the lambda 1 was repeated. Okay, so this submatrix is called the Jordan block. Okay, this submatrix is called the Jordan block. That is called the Jordan block. Okay, again, you can see along the diagonal elements, you have all the eigenvalues, and the element immediately above the repeated element eigenvalue will be equal to 1, and all other elements will be 0. What did I say? All diagonal elements consist of the eigenvalues, and immediately above the repeated eigenvalue, you have a 1, and all other elements will be 0. Okay. And the B matrix, the first row will be 0, and the remaining elements will be 1. And the C matrix is comprised by the residues of the transfer function. Okay, let us note down these points. The submatrix what is the submatrix? Minus lambda 1, 1, minus lambda 1, 1, 0, minus lambda 1 in the system matrix. In the system matrix A is called Jordan block. Is called Jordan block. Okay, then the diagonal elements of the system matrix are eigenvalues. The diagonal elements of system matrix are eigenvalues. Okay, all the elements below the diagonal elements are 0. Okay, all the elements below the diagonal, all the elements below the diagonal elements are 0. Okay, then the element in the previous row and immediately above the repeated eigenvalue will be equal to 1. Okay, the element in the previous row and just above the repeated eigenvalue and just above the repeated eigenvalue is 1, and all other elements above the diagonal R0. Okay. So you can see here the elements in the B matrix, okay, correspond to the last row of the Jordan diagonal, and the remaining distinct eigenvalue are 1, and all other elements will be 0 in the B matrix. Okay. The element of matrix B, the element of matrix B corresponding to last row of the Jordan block is 1, and all the previous elements corresponding to each row of the Jordan block are 0. Do you understand what I wrote? So you see, the element in the B row corresponds to the last row of the Jordan block is 1, and all other rows correspond to the Jordan blocks will be 0. Okay, and this here we have a distinct eigenvalue, so the corresponding lambda distinct eigenvalue minus lambda 2. So the corresponding element in the B matrix will also be equal to 1. That's what I wrote here. Okay, and C matrix consists of the residues ABC. Okay, and finally, the element of matrix B, the element of matrix B corresponding to the non-repeated eigenvalue in A matrix. In A matrix is 1. Is 1. Is it not? That's what the A matrix in. That is what I told you over here, right? So in the B matrix, the element corresponding to the non-repeated eigenvalue will be equal to 1. Okay, and all the residues of the transformation will constitute the C matrix. Okay, so this is our C. This is B. This is A. Okay. Now let us draw the state diagram for this representation. So what are the equations? X1 dot equal to minus lambda 1 x1 plus x2. Oh no, what is that? X1 dot is minus lambda 1 x1 plus x2. X1 dot is minus lambda 1 x1 plus x2. Then x2 dot is minus lambda 1 x2 plus r of t, and x3 dot is minus lambda 2 x2 plus r of t. Correct? X3 dot is minus lambda 2 x3 plus r of t, minus lambda 2 x3 plus x3 plus r of t. Then let us draw this figure. Draw the state diagram for this thing. So x1 dot. Okay. So first let me start with. Okay. So first and x2 dot is this thing. So first let me start with x2 dot. So here is our summing point. Okay. Here is x2 dot, which passes through an integrator. Here is x2. This is minus lambda 1. This is minus sign. X2, okay, so there should be an r of t term here. So this is r of t, okay. This is x2. Then we have lambda 2 x3 plus r of t. So again, let me put r of t here. R of t. Another summing point. This is x3. This is minus, this is lambda 2, there's an integrator, This is x3 plus r of t. Okay, now we have x1 dot term. Okay, so what is x1 dot term? X2 plus, right? So that means x1 dot is x2 plus minus lambda 1 x1 t plus x2. x1 dot is minus lambda 1 x1 plus x2 minus lambda 1 x1 plus x2. So this is x2. Yeah. So here we have x1 dot integrator. This is x1. So this should be minus lambda 1 x1. Okay. So x1 dot is x2 minus lambda 1 x1. Okay. So this is the thing. Now what's the output? Output y of t. So from here you will get y of t as ax1t plus bx2t plus cx3t. So here is our A matrix. We should come to a summing point. This is y of t ax1 plus bx2. So here I can have a gain b. Okay, it's being added up here, and finally there's a gain c here, which is being added here. Okay, so in this way you can obtain the state diagram for a Jordan canonical form, wherein the transfer function had repeated pair of codes. So as an example, let's try this question. Y of s by r of s equals 2s plus 5 whole divided by s plus 1 whole square. Okay, so when you convert it, you will get like this: x dot t equals minus 1, 1, 0, 1 x plus 0, 1 r of t, and y of t, the output will be equal to what? 3 to x. 3 to x. Okay. So in today's lecture, we had seen what is diagonal canonical form and Jordan canonical form. So diagonal canonical form results from both diagonal canonical form and Jordan canonical form. Results from partial fraction expansion of transfer function. Okay. Diagonal canonical form is obtained when we have a transfer function with distinct poles, whereas Jordan canonical form is obtained when the transfer function has repeated eigenvalues or repeated poles. Okay, so we had seen the characteristics of A, B, C matrices in all the 4 cases, including controllable canonical form, observable canonical form, diagonal canonical form, and Jordan canonical form. So I think that's enough for the time, and we'll stop here and meet again for a new lesson in the next class. Thank you.